Hey guys, so today I'm back with another video and I'm going to be making a coptic bound sketchbook. So I'll be following C Lemon's tutorial because I don't actually know how to make one myself and I don't have any books to make one, and C Lemon does like a bunch of great bookbinding tutorials, and I'll try and put the one that I'm following in the description below. So here, as you can see, I made a little trial version. So I'll be using wax thread for this one because it's going to be slightly thicker, and apparently wax thread doesn't tangle as easily. So this is my front, this is my back, and then these are the insides. So we'll start by making the front cover first. So to start, I'm gonna cut these pages out to around their edge because they're not cut already. We're using this guillotine just because it provides like a nice straight edge. Even though I have a cutting board and a craft knife, I think this will get me the straighter edge. It'll just be easier. So now I've completed cutting the edge of all the paper off. You have the insides and outside, which is a little bit larger so that the edges can wrap around, and then back to front it's like that. So for the edges, as you can see, I put these little white guidelines. So then I'm going to cut across like that along there so that when I fold it over, there's like a nice edge. It will line up and you'll see just like this. So when I cut it along like that, the edge will come around and form like that. So here is the cut front and back, and now I'm just going to fold along the edges where the points used to be so that I can wrap around nicely. So here's what it's supposed to look like. These edges will be stuck down for the front and back though. So when you open it, will be something like front page, then the middle, then the pages will be in between, then you have this page, and then you close it, then you've got the back. So now I'm going to be using this cereal box cardboard to reinforce the front and back cover. I don't have any board, so we're using cereal box card boxes, however you say it. So this is the sort of thing that you could do at home as well. Like, you don't need to go out of your way to buy some expensive board, just use what you have. So I'm going to be cutting out this maybe a little bit smaller, like a millimeter smaller, just so that it can fit in this when I like close the edges. Now I've got my cardboard insert, which is going to go in here, then the paper on top, and then I'm going to slot it in here so you get a thicker board like this. Now I'm going to stack my pages into signatures. So I've got quite a few pages here and I'm not quite sure how many I'll do yet. So now I'm going to start folding the pages. I don't have a bone folder, so I'm going to use this glue stick or giant paper clip just to get that sharp edge. So I'm going to start by aligning the corners. Grab the other edge, push it down as best as I can. So I've finished folding all my sketchbook pages and I've gone over them with the paper clip multiple times to make sure I get that super sharp, crisp edge. And as you can see, it turned out really nicely. It's so satisfying to look at. So this is how I'm probably going to stack them in pages of 3. So the front is going to look like this. So it's going to go open like that, and then the back will have this. So I have 9 signatures. I think I miscalculated and folded an extra sheet. So 9 signatures of 3 sheets, so that's 27 pages. Using a ruler, I'm gonna mark points along the paper as to where I'm gonna punch holes. So I'm gonna do it every 2 centimeters. And then I'm going to do it 6 centimeters in. So now I'm going to put guidelines on the front cover. For the front, I'm going to leave a gap, maybe about 1 centimeter, and then use these guidelines. So I've put the holes on everything. I mean, not the holes, the guidelines for the holes and everything. I don't know if you can tell, but I accidentally put the holes on the wrong side for the back and then I had to change it to the other side. Don't make that mistake. Guess I'm going to start with this first hole. So now that everything's got its holes punched in, I'm going to start sewing. So I'm going to start with the back cover, front cover last, and I'm going to use the first signature. So to thread my needle, I first flattened some of the wax thread because it's quite thick. It's hard to get through the needle despite how thick this one is, and because it's flattened, it's now so much easier to put through and pull. So I think I'm going to measure out a certain length first and then start stitching the book. So now I'm going to tie a knot. Doesn't really need to be a big knot because this thread is already quite thick. I'm not really doing a specific knot technique, just putting it in a jumble. So there's my knot. Not the neatest of knots, but it should do the job. Because it's a waxed thread, you can sort of burn the end and it will sort of shrivel down and create like a stump. So with my threaded needle, I'm just going to go through the first signature all the way through. It might be a little bit stiff because the holes probably aren't big enough just yet. And I'm going to pull it all the way through so that the knot is on the inside. I'm then going to take my cover, back cover, that is, roughly align the holes, and I'm going to go under into the back hole at the back cover, and I'm going to go up and through. So I'm just going to tighten it to make sure the pages are nice and tight. Then I'm going to take my needle and thread it around like this. So I'm going to thread it around that loop that I just made. And after that, back into the hole, the signifier hole, give it a little quick tight check, and back in. And then you're going to go through the hole, the next hole, and repeat the same process just for every hole along the book. So, after you've done the whole row, don't go back in on the last signature. So after you've looped through, gone through the cover, and then looped through, don't go back in. Instead, you're going to grab your next signature and go into that hole, the first hole. Then, from the first hole, go straight into the second hole. Then you're going to loop through the previous stitch. Pull through the loop and go back in. Then you're going to go to your next hole and repeat the exact same thing all the way along. So, if you start to run out of thread, like I have, I'm almost done, but this is not going to get me through the rest. Just unravel yourself a bit more thread. So to keep it safe, I'm going to give me the thread about twice the length of this. And I'm going to tie the knot about here. So I tied the knot here, just at the end, so it's more discreet. I'm just going to cut off, not the end I'm going to use. So now we're going to stitch on the final signature and the cover, but these go on together. So, making sure your cover is the right way up. You're going to stitch over and in to the cover, sort of ignoring that last signature for now. And then you're going to loop through the previous stitch. So that will be this one down here. Then you can go through the signature However, the holes might be blocked by the thread, so be careful. And then continue pulling. On the inside, go into your next signature hole. When you're through the hole, then you loop the previous stitch, and then you go through the cover. And then come back around, and then again you loop through the previous stitch and then back into the signature hole. So then you repeat this process all the way along. So I finally stitched the last hole, and now I'm just gonna thread it through. Probably should have kept the needle attached. Thread it through and tie it off very simply. And then here is the final sketchbook. So there's the stitching. I really like how neat this turned out. And I thought it was going to be really high because I had so many pages, but because I made sure to fold them really tightly, it turned out very nicely. So here's the front, inside, got the pages, and the pages can lay flat, so I'm really happy with how this turned out. Thanks so much for watching this, and if you make it, comment down below, tell me if I missed anything out, and thanks, I'll see you next time.